Is it working?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, it's working. Hello everybody. Welcome to the live stream at a time that's a little more convenient for everyone. I think it's about...
Let's suppose that you're writing a really
Oh
important
my
email
god, I
to a
hate that.
colleague.
There's that thing again, you guys. The sound. Unmute this tab. Alright, cool. Alright, so we are here in Chiang Mai, Thailand. I'm at a cafe racer. It's a motorcycle shop cafe. Phenomenal Wi-Fi. And I'm just enjoying my rest day. I've been up since 6 a.m., got 8 hours of sleep. I feel phenomenal. I'm gonna wait until some people get in and start asking some questions, and we'll go from there. What's up, Luis? Yeah, it was epic ride. I want to see your Intanon results. I seen the photos this morning, but I haven't got on to Strava yet. I can't wait to see your ride, dude. Let's get together later today, so maybe I could possibly borrow your light. And if you said you had an extra Garmin, that would be amazing as well, because my Garmin died. So I don't have a Garmin for the Everest. Let me know, man. Oh, that would be so awesome, Luis, if I could borrow the Brighton. I would really appreciate it, man. Like, I really want to knock out this Everest, so... Yeah, dude, all the help I can get. Like, I just want to worry about my fitness and getting up that mountain. So, let's link up later today. Just shoot me a message and we can figure it out. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to check out your video. I have everything edited on my end, so my work's done for the day after this live stream, and then I'm gonna kind of enjoy some videos and just have some juice and relax, man. I can't wait to see it. I'll also share your link from Intanon in a video post, if that's okay with you, so people can watch it. Is the connection not good? Louis said I could borrow his Brighton for
nice.
The Everest.
Nice.
Said it has 34 hours.
Whoa.
That's,
you mean the computer?
the Brighton, yeah, the like Garmin thing.
Nice. Oh, perfect. Yeah, because Garmin's fine.
All right, so I don't see many people on, but I'm just gonna kind of get into what I wanted to talk about, because I can always just play this as a recording and you can watch it later. So if you guys didn't make it at the beginning, then yeah, let's go through it. Alrighty. You can check it on Facebook on the Chiang Mai Vegan Cyclist page. Awesome. Thanks, brother. Alright, so here we go. So this week, last 4 weeks total, 8 hours and 27 minutes. We'll just we'll go down and we'll check it out. Let's go through it all together. So 4 weeks ago, we got this is the biggest 4 weeks of cycling that I've. So let's see. This is a ride I did to work. Just riding around, like doing actually just doing errands. RPM. Trailblazers. We rode out in El Dorado Hills and did a bunch of mountain bike trails. And then I rode home, which was really good. I got to see the kids, and that was great. So I multitasker extreme. All right, so we got a little fun in the sun, only 40 miles. Rode out in the dirt. Going nowhere. All right, so small week. 8 hours. Then we're gonna go to the 3 weeks ago, 127 miles. No, this, hold on. There we go. 208 miles. That's a little more my week. I like to do at least 200 miles in a week. That makes me feel somewhat accomplished. This is my first week in Thailand. So I rode to camp. Oh, sorry. Let's go down here to the bottom. It's going backwards. Alrighty. So Dirt Church, 45 miles. Oh, Stairmaster, this is my ride right here. This is the day before I flew to Thailand. 105 miles with 1,400 feet, 60% gravel on the bike with the gravel tires. And then welcome to Thailand, 22 miles. That was when I had my derailleur hanger, like not small all the way, rode to a bike shop, rode to food. Then I did the first time up the Doi Ang 41 minutes with gravel tires, 4,500 feet of climbing. And then I got an M-Ain vegetarian. I went and ate M-Ain, had some pad thai. And then I did a conversational pace with everybody. We went up to Doi Poi Lookout. It was amazing. I got to meet Harley, durian rider, and I rode up with Gabby, Eddie, Dale, and a few others, and it was just so much fun. And then we go up here the next day. I had some dinner eating, and then earlier that day I did a Doi Ang PR, 39 minutes, and then went to camp and worked and edited videos. So let's go to last week. So this week, that 3 weeks ago, was 208 miles with 11,000 feet. Not such a big week, but that's a pretty decent amount with the climbing. So let's go last week here. 315 miles, 27 hours, 29,000 feet of climbing. All right, so double Doi Poi with Mr. Ash at Eat Plants. 51 miles, 7,800 feet of climbing. And then I walked that day to Happy Green Vegetarian, and I'd had a fruit date with Maria, and so it was a 15 miles total of walking. And then the next day I rode up for the Doi Recovery Q&A, rode really slow, like a 50-something minute pace. It was nice and easy. Then, I believe the next day, I went for a Doi Ang PR. I tried to do a sub 35 and I got dropped 14 minutes in. I still have that video to share with you guys. I just haven't decided how I want to upload it yet. And I got a 38 on that day. Let's see, lunch ride. And then Doi Boys PR for me. I did a PR of a 37, and I got to do the Q&A with Harley that day. It was pretty cool. Everybody had a good time. I set a goal for a sub 35 on Doi Ang, and I'm going to try to do that like next Monday or Tuesday after I get some proper rest off the bike. My fitness is coming in very nicely. And then we did Doi Ang last Sunday. So this is 9 days ago. 139 miles, 12,000 feet. Got 4th overall on the hardcore backside, and 10th overall in this section. But I got 12th place going up Intanon in a complete climb, which is really awesome. If you guys are posting comments on the page, I'll check on in a second. I'm just gonna go over this, and then I'll go back and see who's all on. Just some like through the city rides here, live stream. Then let's go to this week. This is my biggest week ever cycling. As of yesterday, it was my biggest week. 480 miles, 34 hours with 40,000 feet of climbing. I literally went through my brakes, my rear brakes on my Giant, but we'll get to that when we go over the bike talk. So let's go to this week and see what we did from the beginning. So I did Doi Ang solo, and I PR'd. I got a 37 minute, 13 seconds. PR, did really well and had enough to sprint at the end. A standing sprint with some gear. It was a really good high cadence. And then what do we got next? The Samong Loop. We did the Samong Loop at 57 miles, 4,000 feet. I went really hard in the beginning in red line, so it was kind of hard to recover, but it was a solid loop. Got a couple trophies. Very beautiful loop. And then I did this recovery ride here, 50 miles with 800 feet with Gabby and Maria. We were looking for sticky waterfalls, but the maps led us to like this ferry that wasn't there, and so we just kind of like adventured. It was pretty fun. Went swimming afterwards. And then we did Everest prep. We went and got pad thai and like just carb loaded. And then on Wednesday, protect your neck, 105 miles, 17,000 feet. We did 4.5 laps of our 8 laps. My neck, I just had a knot, which I already told you guys. Super hurt, like just super big knot, and like it was just super shooting pain. So we just decided to call it. Then I took a break. I did Sugar Mountain, so I just rode up the Doi to get my backpack. The video's up on my channel, so you guys can check it out. It was pouring rain. It was pretty gnarly, but it was super warm. And let's say, here we go. Yesterday, Doi Ang Khang, epic ride. I'm gonna go into it. 195 miles, 13,000 feet of climbing. This is the biggest ride I've done. I've done 220 miles. I've done 209 miles, but this was by far the most epic ride I've ever done because of the fact the climbs. It was just like there was a 29% gradient, like straight up and down. And also like, so the bottom half average is 7% and the top half is an average of 13%. Altogether, the mountain averages 10% for 7 miles. It's very steep. And it's like, I want to say like 7,000 feet of climbing. 7,000 feet in like 7 miles. It's insane. It's insanely steep. I got a KOM yesterday. I didn't do too well on the hill because I was grinding with my 40-42. I mean, if you had mountain bike cranks, you'd probably be grinding, but you'd be able to spin a little more, but it was like going 1 mile per hour up a hill. It's so steep. So anybody that tells you that you can't ride compact cranks with a 40 in the back because you're a wimp, they've never fucking ridden a mountain like this. I want to see somebody go and ride this with like a 28. It's insane. They'll probably walk. But I got this KOM on this 18-minute segment, which is pretty cool. It felt strong all day. And I'll talk about nutrition and what I did to prep for this ride in a second. But yeah, really good ride. So, finished off the week with 400 miles, 40,000 feet of climbing, 34-hour week. 34 hours, that's more than my no-coast trip when we did 800 miles in 7 days. We had, we might have did 36 hours, but it was only 30,000 feet of climbing. So I feel like this week, this is like with gears. This was such a harder week than doing no-coast on a single-speed brakeless track bike. But all right, so I'm gonna go back in over here and see how we're doing on comments, see who's all in here. All right. Let's see. Is it just me or is the connection cutting out? Oh, what's up, Lachlan? Yeah, I don't know if the connection's cutting out. It says the Wi-Fi is good. Everything's loading right. So I don't know why it's like cutting out. So sorry, guys. Out of my lead ride for sure. Someone just posted a Samong XXL ride, 300 kilometers, 6,500 meters of climbing. Wow, that sounds very tempting. Doc McStuffins, I am 6'2.5", about 190 centimeters tall. So 189 maybe, 189 centimeters tall, I guess. I don't really know. What's up, Harley? That's cool, man. How's it going? Oh, Harley said Doi Ang Khang called back, says she feels cheated that you guys found another climb already. Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, it's an epic climb. I would recommend Doi Ang Khang to anybody that has somewhat of a fitness level and has proper gearing. Now, I had a 40-42, and that was not enough gearing. I was grinding my face off up the steep, steep climbs. Again, average of 13% the second half, and there's a 29% where it's just like this. Like I was popping a wheelie, like it's unforgiving. Any room for air, you're gonna fall over. You guys gotta have the gearing. Like it could take you 2 days to do this loop. Luckily, you know, I've been building my fitness. We have fitness. we did it in 11 hours and like 19 minutes. We took it from below a 15 average going up the climb. We had a 20-mile-an-hour average to the climb, 100 miles. We were flying. We were pushing 25 plus the whole way, miles per hour. Hit the climb. I had 7 bananas in my stomach. And then I was just grinding. And then on the way home, smashing. Took it from a below 15 average to a 17.5 average. And I just felt strong the whole day. What's up, Wesley? Good to see you, man. I hope everything's going good at home. I hope you're crushing it in the races. You a cat too yet, or what? Yeah, so let's get into nutrition. I didn't bring my 1 kilo bag of sugar. If you guys watch my Sugar Mountain video, that's a 1 kilo of sugar. It's 1,000 grams of sugar. Now, I know that looks like a lot of sugar. It's like 1.5 pounds of sugar. But when you do a ride like this, you need fuel. And if you don't want to run out of fuel and you want to stay fully fueled to knock out a ride, then you got to smash in the carbs, the sugar. And when it's in its purest form, it's going to be the purest fuel. So that way, you're just putting it into your body to burn instantly, automatically. Yesterday, I probably had the most grams of carbohydrates I've ever had in my life. Roughly, I had 1,600 grams. 1,600 grams of carbohydrates. Bear with me. I'll actually go into my chronometer and actually show you guys. I think I could pull this up. So, the Thai police going to catch you stuffed with that Chiang Mai brown bags at the airport. All right.
Is that Harley?
That's Luis.
Luis.
Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get out of my Strava since we already went into that, and I'm going to go into my chronometer, and I'm going to show you guys what I actually, a base of what I had yesterday. So, let me go to June 18th. Here we go. So, yesterday, all I got was 1,000 grams of sugar, 15 bananas, 1 8-ounce Sprite, and about 1.5 cups of rice at Maya. Now, I didn't include those, the green potato curry, the spring rolls. I had 4 coconut nectar drinks that are 200 calories each. I don't know how many grams of carbs. But this is a base idea of what you should be able to smash in. Now, recommended 10 grams per carbs. That's 750 grams of carbs per day, just as a staple. I already know that when I'm just working and I'm not exercising, like 900 is solid for me. Like, so 800 to 1,100 grams, and I'm going to be pretty satisfied depending if I'm hungry or not. And I just go from there. That's just a textbook. Like, you just try it, and then you go on how your body feels. Always go by feel, not by theory. So, if we go down here, just from what I had as a base, I had 1,600 grams of carbohydrates, 214% of my carbs as a base, not including the nectars and the couple of dry bananas I had, or the potato curry. 7 grams of fat, or round up to 8 grams of fat from the 15 bananas only. And then 39 grams of protein. That's perfect, because you can live off 30 grams of protein a day. It's already been tested, 1904, you could look it up. But we're not talking about that today. So just from that small amount of food, the base miles, I got over 130% of my fiber, 210% of my iron just from the rice and bananas, a little bit of calcium, vitamin A, vitamin C, 249% of my folate, all these vitamins and minerals. Look at all these proteins, bro. Where do you get your protein? This is just from minimal food. I had all sugar and liquid yesterday, and look at how much I got. Imagine what it'd be like if I actually ate like the normal amounts of whole foods that I get. It's all just blown through. Like, people say you can't be a plant-based athlete. I was told that 2 years ago. And then look what we rode yesterday. Look at the ride. Look at the vlog. There's not a lot of video. Just look at the Strava. Strava didn't happen, bro. I could not have done this on a carnivorous diet. Like, there's just no way I could have fueled myself properly to do this. I would have bonked. And, like, ask anybody on the ride, man. We were on fire. We were just hammering it. You don't hammer on rides like that. Most of the people just kind of go slow and they conserve their energy. But yeah, man, we were hammering. Look at that though. 1,600 grams of carbohydrates. And then here, it shows you just the organic sugar, 1,000 grams of carbs. That's already above my minimum for the day. Bananas, 358 grams of carbs. The rice, 1.5 cup, 218 grams of carbs. Sprite, 25 grams of carbs for an 8-ounce can. It's really easy to get the results you need if you just use chronometer. And I have Harley. Thank you for telling me about chronometer. First person ever told me about chronometer is Harley. So you don't fail. Make sure you're smashing in the carbs. If you don't have the energy to use chronometer, then you don't have enough carbohydrates in your system. Working 50 to 70 hours a week and being able to chronometer and do 650 videos in the last year and a half with all that work and like still try to smash in cycling, I mean, dude, no excuses. Live like a champion. All right, let's get back to some of these questions, see if we have any. Nothing to do with this. Thanks for approving my post, Harley. There you go. Sorry. Where do you get your leucine?
Protein.
Leucine or lysine? I don't know exactly where the lysine comes from. I've never like looked into that. It just always comes from my food. Like I just eat it and it like is there.
Amino acid, I think.
Like, you know, so Ash said it's possibly an amino acid. I guess I could look it up right now. But let's remember that all fruits contain all 8 essential amino acids. That's a fact. So don't forget that. You can look it up. It's a fact. But man, I really expected to have more people on this live stream right now because I'm doing it kind of like when it's time at my home, like around 11 p.m. So I thought there'd be more people on it. And there's people on the social media. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna go on here on the thing and see if anybody is liking the Instagram stuff, because I posted I was going live on Instagram too, so that some people maybe tag along in there. All right, so what haven't I touched on? I touched on the ride. I touched on my nutrition. I feel fantastic today, as you can see. I'm high energy. Let's talk about my breakfast this morning. I don't want to down talk a place. It's just not my preference. Don't you get hungry on a ride just by drinking sugar water? Patrick, that's a great question. When you're getting enough grams of carbohydrates for fuel, you're not getting hungry. The night before, I posted a video, so on my Sugar Mountain video, it shows you what I ate the night before. It's all about preparing yourself. When you go on a big ride, you don't rely on the food that you're eating during the ride to fuel you. It's all about the pre-fuel. That's why when you see athletes carb loading the day before, they're eating all those whole foods and they're smashing in the carbohydrates because you need it to process to actually turn into fuel. But when you're on a ride and you're smashing in pure sugar or eating some fruit, it's like getting all the fuel without the fiber. It's not digesting it. It's just going straight into your bloodstream. And when you're over consuming, you're satisfied. Now I had those bananas just to have some food, but I was fully satisfied that whole ride yesterday. I was on fire, bro. Like I thought I'd taken drugs. I mean, there's a reason why my channel's called Carb Doping. It's because how do you not fail as a plant-based athlete? By carb doping. It's the legalest way to succeed, to get results. Now, you know, the last year I've been racing without tons of riding. Like, it's 7,000 miles is more than a lot of people I know have ridden in a year. So it's a lot to them. But for me, to get results, I like to ride more. Riding 10,000 miles or something around there is a lot better. Like riding at least 200 miles a week is beneficial for me to get results. So when I raced and I didn't get results this year, people were like, oh yeah, well you need to eat something more than just plants then. It's because I didn't put in the time. You could be top-notch athlete, top-notch in the Olympics, and half the athletes aren't vegan. But you know what they did? They put in time, they put in work, they trained to be able to hit those stats, and they're on the gas. But that's okay. You know, do what it takes to win when you're at that level. But we're not really talking about that. But now that I'm here in Thailand, I'm starting to remember what it's like to just feel like an unstoppable machine. I haven't been able to sub 35 up Doi Tep, but I'm working towards that. I've brought my time down 4 minutes on solo efforts in 2.5 weeks. That's phenomenal. So I'm gonna work on that next week after I do this Everest attempt. Let's see. So yeah, no, when I have sugar water and like coconut nectar drinks or Sprite, I don't really get hungry because I smashed in the food the night before, and I don't desire those whole foods when I'm on the ride because it affects me cycling, because you have that food in your stomach and your body's using energy to break it down when it could be using all of the energy from the sugar to just full gas it the whole ride and be as efficient as possible. So I hope that answers your question. From Intanon. Nice, Luis, man. Just way to smash it in, bro. Like, keep smashing those meals. Do whatever it takes for you, what works for you. You should try full sugar. But, I mean, like I said, I had a kilo of sugar yesterday, so it's a lot. The bag was like this. Do you think UCI pro teams would start committing or coming to Thailand if they saw what does training here does already to a Cat 2 rider? Possibly. UCI teams come to the foothills where I live. Evan Huffman, he raced for Astana. He lives with his mom in El Dorado Hills. He now races for Rally. He won 2 stages of Tour California. And also, there's a guy that rides for Mike Spikes who's really awesome, down to earth. His name's Leon. And I believe he stays with Evan in the El Dorado Hills right now, and he's just super strong. He's been winning a few of the races here. And I think he's probably going to have a contract here in the next year. So just talking with him on one of the Tuesday night river rides, and we talked about how his dad used to be into skateboarding and knew Rob Roscop, and just really cool things, dude. Super down-to-earth dude. They're out here training, like, in the hills because it's epic riding. The hills that are around me, that are about 40, 50 miles out, are just epic national forest mountains. Top-notch climbs. I think they would benefit from coming out to Thailand because I've seen results that I haven't seen in myself ever, let alone, like, I've been at this point where I was, like, super strong, but now I have proper feel, proper gearing. It's creating me to build myself efficiently more long-term, and it's giving me confidence in myself to actually go up against people who have been training like crazy all year. I'm only at 3,700 miles for the year, and all my friends, they're at like 5,000, 6,000 miles because I've already done like 30, 40 races, all the stage races. So me getting super lean on minimal riding, just wait until the end of this year and look how much leaner I got. Wait till I get home from Thailand and you see how much leaner I got. We're not talking about like how much weight I've lost, because losing weight isn't always the best, because you want to do it properly. So you need to smash in the carbs, high carb, low fat, and you need to train, and you're just going to get leaner naturally, like intensely, if you're doing crazy miles like I have been. I'm going to taper it off now, and like we're going to do our everesting tomorrow night at midnight, so look out for that. We're going to do it. I got a lot of great backup help with Garmin, since my Garmin crashed, and front lights, because my front light, my Bond Tracker light doesn't work. It's brand new. It stopped working. I don't know what happened. It won't charge. And yeah, and then I'm going to back off and kind of chill, and then I want to go for a sub 35 TT next week, and then I also want to run up Doi Satep, so I'm going to do that before I leave in the next 9 days. The humidity and inclines really do a number on any ride. Yes, that is true. The humidity here is insane. It might not fully be 100 degrees. It might be like 80 degrees, but it's like 80 to 100% humidity. It's intense. And you sweat tremendously here. I've sweated more here on an overcast day than I ever have in a 100-degree day at home. Is on my long-term plans. Yeah, Luis, if you ever come out to the West Coast, bro, I will take you on some great rides. 12,000, 4,000 meters in like 130K. Epic forest, like corkscrew. It makes you feel like you're riding the best climbs in the world, just like when you go into these mountains out here in Thailand. All right, so questions. What other questions do we have? I'm running out of stuff. I got on a rant there, but I get excited, so thanks for bearing with me. Good thing I don't have all these questions coming in, otherwise I would just be behind. I need to find key times for a live stream so I can get like, where's all my 1,000, 40 subscribers at? Are we napping out there? It's sleep time? Let's see, while we're here, let's go, we'll Google this. best sources of lysine. All right, let's see. All right, so it's saying it looks like there's a on this veganhealth.org lysine. It's saying, let's see. Let's see. Legumes, soybeans, tempeh, tofu, soy milk, soy meat. So these are a lot of processed things. That's not something that I normally eat. Beans, garbanzo, kidney, pinto. I usually eat like cannellini beans, the white beans. I don't ever eat like kidney beans. I've had them like once in the last 2 years. Falafel, hummus, refried, etc. I don't really eat any of that. I love peas. Peas are a great source of lysine. Black-eyed peas, I love black-eyed peas. So there's some. Lentils and peanuts. I've had some lentils since I've been here in Thailand. I don't make them at home. I've been interested in making a lentil chili though. I know High Carb Hannah has a lentil chili recipe that looked pretty good. It's not something that I focus on because I'm so high carb, low fat all the time. Not that lentils have a ton of fat, but when you eat a lot of beans or lentils, the carbohydrate grams aren't very high. So if you smash it in breakfast, lunch, you could have lentils for dinner, but still it's like, I don't feel like top notch when I eat those types of things. I like to just be like a base of rice and then throw small lentils over the top. Same thing with vegetables. You don't need a lot of vegetable to get those nutrients. So like say I have a big plate of rice and I want to eat carrots because I love carrots. I'll chop up like 1 carrot or 2 carrots because 1 carrot is 178% of your vitamin A for the day. So you're getting all those nutrients in just 1 carrot, and you don't need to eat like 10 pounds of carrots because you're just going to get like, 150,000% of your vitamin A. But yeah, so lysine, I hope that answers your guys' question. The limiting amino acid of vegan diets. So you have all these like age groups and like protein needs for people over 60. Honestly, like if you're getting 20 to 30 grams of protein a day, that's enough to live on healthy no matter what, even if you're an endurance athlete. And people forget this. They say, oh, but I just need more protein. But these people are people that don't exercise or anything. They're just sitting at Starbucks and they're not getting results. They're not lean. And so that's their excuse for not being vegan because their doctor said they need more protein. But wouldn't an athlete need more protein than a normal person? You would think, in theory. Well, it doesn't matter because in 1904, there's a study done, and I can't remember his name, but he's a professor at Yale because he wanted to debunk the 1870 guesstimation theory of the dude in Europe, that he wanted to test 35 grams of protein a day on not just athletes, high-class athletes from Yale, but on like working-class heroes, like homeless people, and did like 4 genres of lifestyles, and found that you could live on 30 grams of protein. And not only did they improve, but the athletes at Yale improved their performance by 30% on top of what they were 3 months prior to that, and showed that 35 grams of protein was enough to live on a day. I can't get under 35 grams of protein unless I don't eat enough, because even if I eat 6,000 calories, I'm getting I average like 100 grams of protein a day, bro. But I'm not eating high protein foods. I'm just eating high carbohydrate foods that naturally have protein in them. So just think about it. Use chronometer, and it'll show a world of difference to your knowledge, and you can speak from experience, not from what you hear say. All right, so it was 108 in Sacramento today. Yeah, I talked to my best friend Ty FaceTime before this, and he told me it was 108. But what was the humidity like? I know 108's hot, believe me. But if you come to Thailand, it's hotter because it's the humidity, bro. If you've ever been to Texas, the humidity is 80, 90%, and it's just like sitting behind a car in 108-degree weather with the smog blowing in your face. It's tremendous. It's just nasty.
Love it.
I have a lot of questions in between the broadcast cuts. Beans are one of the best foods someone could eat for cheap, yet people are afraid of canned foods as it is a reason to avoid them. People love excuses. I agree. Excuses are the easiest way to not do something. Yesterday, my Garmin died, just quit on me, just shut down, wouldn't work, wouldn't come on, fully charged. It just glitched out. The GoPro 5 that Jay loaned me stopped working, didn't want to record, and I had nothing. I thought about not doing the ride yesterday, but I decided to just use my phone for Strava, and I had a backup charger for my phone, and I just went with it, and I had the best ride. And I almost used the excuse of not having electronics to go on a ride, when all I needed were my legs and my positive mental attitude and the passion to do this ride, because I was so driven to complete it. I knocked it out and ended up having a really good ride. So that's why the vlog's like kind of just like me using my phone, guys, because everything else failed, but my body didn't, because I fueled it properly to work. That's the great thing about carbohydrates. Your body's not going to shut down when you eat enough carbohydrates. Here, 22 or 32 all feel the same with the humidity. Yeah, that's right. The protein myth started at the end of the 19th century when meat producers did such a good marketing campaign about how people needed protein and meat was the only source. Yes, sir. And then also 1952, the meat and dairy industry came up with the food pyramid and just brainwashed everyone to think they needed protein, protein, protein. They did a hell of a job. Look how far they've gotten. But look at our obesity epidemic and our healthcare costs. We have the best, So apparently America has the best healthcare in the world, but why are we the sickest out of everybody? I'm here in Thailand, and if you go to any traditional village, everybody in the villages trim, lean. You want to know why? Because a whole foods, plant-based diet. Rice is their main source of calories. Rice! And did you know that rice, 20% of its calories come from protein calories? Because they're eating a high carbohydrate, low fat diet. And they might not all be vegan, but less than 5% of their calories come from animal products. They'll take like a piece of meat like this big and they'll share it between like a family of 6 or 10. What is worse is their working class families that would spend all their day's work money in a few pieces of odd meat instead of rice and potatoes. That's true. 50 pounds of potatoes for me at home, wholesale, is like $15. 50 pounds of potatoes, $15. It lasts me like 3 months. It's so hard to eat 50 pounds of potatoes, but it's a staple of calories. Same thing with rice. 50-pound bag for $23 lasts me 2 months, 3 months, 58 cents a day on rice calories. Staples. When you have those, you don't have to eat rice all day, every day, but that's your staple. If you want to stay lean long-term, high carb, whole foods, staples, fruits, rice, potatoes. You need corn. Corn has like 7 grams of fat per can. But there's no excess fat in whole foods, so therefore you're not going to get excess overweight. People think you're going to get extremely overweight on carbohydrates. That's not the case. That doesn't happen because there's no excess fat in carbohydrates. Therefore, when you overeat, you just get more energy. You're going to want to clean the house. You're going to want to do something if you're not an athlete. There's no way you're going to sit on the couch from overeating. All right, so it doesn't look like there's a lot of people on here. I don't want to keep dragging this out. But it's nice so then people that aren't on, they can watch it later. And I noticed that my live streams actually get hundreds of views post live stream. So anybody that was watching answered questions, I hope I answered those complete. And anybody that didn't get to watch this, I'm sorry you missed it again, but I've been testing out the different time frames, and I hope that you can get on the next one. So you guys have a good night. And I appreciate you guys all watching and just supporting my channel. It's the most amazing thing ever, just seeing my channel grow over the last couple weeks. Have a good night.